Boba Fett is ready for advanced foreshortening. Are you? Well, it's a good thing because we are hanging out in the studio today and we are going to chat about advanced foreshortening, and I can't wait to kind of show you some examples where you can really see it coming together. All right, my studio's kind of a wreck right now. I've got all of these shirts that I've illustrated for Star Wars. There's some ALADDIN 3477 merch. It's a little crazy in here right now. Plus, I'm filming a bunch of these videos for you, so don't mind these crazy lights that are just kind of hanging up all over. But I've got some fun examples to show you, and I think this is gonna really make foreshortening make a lot more sense to you. I do have a video already that you need to check out if you haven't already. It's just foreshortening, and I kind of show how it works and how you can build objects out of basic shapes. It's a really good video, but now that you know that, now that you understand that, I want to show some really cool advanced things that you can do to help make things a little bit more objects in the foreground advancing, objects in the background receding, and just make things a little bit more dynamic. So I just wanted to share with you, this here is a promo card. These were given out at the Star Wars celebration in London. This was a lot of fun to put together because this has, it looks like an old school backing card for a Star Wars action figure. And there is a bunch of the career highlights that I have, some fun stuff that I have worked on. But I wanted to share with you the piece that I did for it right here. Now, I had photo reference, and I kind of drew this stormtrooper as is. But what I kind of wish I would have done, what I see now that I didn't see as much then, I really should have added some more foreshortening. This would have been even more dynamic if I would have taken the time to make the gun, this blaster here, having a little bit more foreshortening. And you might say, well, it looks fine, it looks good, it looks dynamic. Well, here's what's a little strange. When you really think about it, think about a blaster. I actually have one right over here. These are large. These are giant. This is a prop replica that the 501st kind of put together for me. I helped a pinch, but they did most of the work, I'm going to be honest. Thank goodness for that, my peeps in the 501st. You are amazing. And this thing is ginormous. It's a rifle. It's not just like a little pistol. So this would have been much more dynamic if I had the hand in front getting a little larger. Look how small this hand is compared to the helmet. Now, the helmet obviously is covering the entire head, so the head is a little bit larger. Also, this stormtrooper is wearing armor everywhere, so there's armor covering everything. Everything's a little bit larger, a little bit thicker, a little bit bulkier. Man, I do love the look of the stormtroopers, but I wish I would have made that blaster just a little bit larger using foreshortening. And I have this really cool thing that I haven't really played around with that much on my phone. I have with cameras. I want to share this with you because I think this will really show you how foreshortening works. All right, are you ready for this? This is going to be cool. Okay, so I have the Stormtrooper blaster here. Now, normally what you see in a situation where you see the entire trooper, kind of like this figure that we see right here, in order to capture that on camera, we have to be relatively far away from the person wearing the armor. So a lot of times when you're looking at photo reference, what'll happen is you will not see a lot of foreshortening because they had to be far away. So for example, I'm going to move back here from the gun. I want you guys to focus on the gun, the blaster. Oops, a little too close. There we go. And notice how when we are far away, sorry for my shaky cam here. Notice how when we're far away, it doesn't really, I mean, it kind of looks like it's coming out towards us, but if you were to trace this, the barrel of the blaster, not really coming out towards us that much. But notice how if we walk closer and then zoom out, I'm trying to keep the gun filling the frame the same. Notice how when we get closer and zoom out, we're also seeing more of the background. So this is when you have more of a wide angle lens. Look how much this barrel is coming out towards the camera now. Do you see how dynamic that is? In this case, this maybe is too much. This is maybe a little too dynamic, a little too cray-cray, but I think somewhere there is a happy medium where you can get those dynamics. I want to show you a couple more examples. Let's say we've got this awesome Gentle Giant bust. If I can focus on it here, there we go. Doesn't like the lighting here, but here is this biker scout. Get close there, and he's holding a pistol, but notice how that pistol, it's this tiny hand. In that previous video, I kind of showed examples with James Bond, and it's so funny because he's just got these little hands. His helmet is so large compared to this little pistol, but watch what happens when we get closer. See how much larger already his hands are getting? Look at that. Dude, is that not cool? Now, some of you might be like, that's a little too crazy. Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to make a comic book, if there's a thing where like you turn around and here is this trooper like this could be a really cool dynamic shot. And the foreshortening, again, the whole trick is objects in the foreground advance. See if I can focus on the gun here. Objects in the foreground advance and appear larger. Objects in the background recede and appear smaller. Oh, that looks so cool. Love it. Okay, now I want to share with you Jawas. Get the focus happening here. Come on, you can do it. There you go. So here is this Jawa, and he's got, one has R5D for his head. This one here in particular, though, has this blaster. And the blaster doesn't look very big. It's just kind of there. It's not very dynamic. But watch what happens when I zoom out, but also get closer. Oh wait, I'm going the wrong way. If I zoom out and get closer, you can see the barrel getting larger, right? See that? As we get closer and closer, look at that. Oh my gosh, that barrel is huge, and that is a crazy. Have you ever seen a Jawa with this giant blaster like that? That's wild, right? But normally you would have the camera farther away, and that also creates more depth of field, which a lot of cinematographers like to do that. It makes for a better camera shot and sometimes an aesthetic, but it also, depending on what the shot is, it can take away any kind of cool foreshortening that you have. Okay, so now that we've talked about this, now that you've seen it in action and exactly what it's doing, let's get back to the illustration. Do you see now how I feel about this stormtrooper and how that blaster is just kind of hugging the helmet? And it's just not dynamic. It's just not really coming out towards us. Here it looks like he's raising the blaster really quick. You know, I've kind of got those action lines. But man, I wish I would have implemented a little bit more foreshortening to it. So something to think about next time you're putting an illustration together that shows something dynamic. It doesn't always have to be a blaster, but if there's something that has action, if it's comic books or manga, you know what? Foreshortening is really cool. It's an opportunity to kind of make things a little bit more razzle-dazzle. Comprende? All right. Be good to one another. Put it to the test and leave some comments down below. What do you guys think? Does it look better when it's farther away with the tiny hands? Or do you think it makes a big difference when you get closer? And look at that, you can just see it happening. Look how dynamic it is. We haven't really changed the size overall, but now we've got that awesome foreshortening. How cool is that? All right, put it to the test, and I will see you guys next week with more juice.